in front of me. Let me get it. Let me get it to the right screen so that we have just give me a moment.
Yes, you see your screen now.
But I want to put it on slideshow, so I'll need to share the screen that has a slideshow so that you can get the full.
Yeah, do that one.
It changes to this one.
Did you click the from beginning?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, click that one, but you manually change the slides though.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, click that one and then a slide will pop up, then you minimize that one.
I want to see where the zoom is. From the zoom, I'll be able to.
Okay. But we are seeing your
it.
screen though.
Yes, okay, I got it. I got it. So you'll be seeing the right screen in a moment.
All right.
Are you guys good? What do you say?
Yes, that's beautiful.
Okay. Now my cameras are okay. You see my face directly? Okay. Let me cover this one a little bit. So yeah. Welcome everyone. I might not be seeing your faces right now because my whole screen is my presentation, but I see you guys on the other screen. So I might be looking each, just know that I'm managing multiple screens, okay? So yeah, so today we want to talk about cybersecurity, governance in this era of artificial intelligence. So how do we secure systems? How do we govern decisions? How do we build defensible cybersecurity and AI systems? I've introduced my team. Prof has already introduced me, but there's something I want to tell you guys, okay? I'm not going to go through all of this because these are just qualifications. I need you to listen to what I have to tell you. I want to introduce myself like your sister, your kid sister, your big sister, whatever it is. My name is Dr. Mavis Ofe. I was born in Batibo. I later left for Widikum. You know, back then, a lot of things are going on, right? We're struggling to feed, we're struggling to survive. Getting those benches you guys are sitting on in class, it wasn't easy at that time. But guess what? Something kept speaking in my ears. There is more. There is more. You know, Widikum is known for its palm bushes, all the palm trees, palm oil. And from every indication, back then, what happens to us, the women, is once you do finish primary school, getting into secondary school is even a luxury, and the next thing you're thinking about getting married. But guess what? My head was not there. I knew there was something way beyond the palm bushes I saw every day when I woke up. Was it easy? No. It has never, ever been easy. But I did my best. I had to keep pushing like you guys are pushing. I left from government high school Widikum, had my ordinary levels, 11 subjects, with grades that have not been defeated up to today. I'm still waiting for the person that will get the grades or go far beyond the grades I had. To give that person, I don't know what I'm going to give that person. But you know, with the condition, things are not getting that smooth over there. We understand. Why am I telling you all of this? I have been on that seat you're sitting. All of us on this panel have been on that seat. Where you wake up in the morning, you're not even sure if you have something to eat. Where you go to school, you don't even have textbooks. Where you're in a computer, you guys even have computer classes. But not in a normal circumstance, everybody in that class should have a computer. But we don't have those resources. But yet, you guys keep pushing because you know that there is more. That is the spirit. And that is the reason why when Prof contacted me to talk to you guys, my calendar is so full. But guess what? I had to make chance because these are my people. If I don't help them, who else is going to do that? What do I want to use all the knowledge and all the people I've built around me? What if we can use the same people to support our own? So if you want to know anything about me when it comes to intellectual work, there are a lot of them. Certifications, what I've done, just Google my name online. You get that. But what I need you to take from this introduction is, I have been there. We all have been there. For those who will win the books, you will read my story. Then you get to understand. But what we don't, there's nothing like giving up. Giving up is not an option. Never, ever an option. This presentation may be a little fuzzy for some people. Just hang in there. You never know, your breakthrough could just be 1 second away. So with that said, let's begin. So I want to start this seminar by bringing this very close to all of us. Imagine you're a student, you're struggling to get into that program. You guys are already very privileged to get into the cybersecurity, the Center for Cybersecurity and Mathematical Cryptology Center in Bamenda. You are very lucky. So somebody is struggling to get in. And because your center is using a system, like Ms. Manda said, that was built, an AI system to help facilitate the selection process of students, your application is rejected. You meet all the requirements, you have the strongest grades, your background is solid, but the system rejects you. And you ask why? The answer is the machine made the decision. Why did the machine make that decision? There's nobody to explain, justify what actually happened. So the question I have for you all today is, do you think this is a cybersecurity problem or a governance problem? Unmute the class mic and any other person online and tell me. We have 1 second to answer this. And why? It's going to be very interactive, okay? I'm not here to preach. It's going to be very interactive, but we'll be mindful of time. I'm waiting. Can you unmute the student center mic for anyone who wants to answer this question? Okay, that's fine. But you guys figure out how to unmute that mic because it's going to be a conversation at some point. We know when you unmute, it's going to be...
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, now we're getting you.
All right, so tell me, is it a cybersecurity problem or a governance failure?
Yes?
I don't know when to say whether it would be good morning, but greetings to you, Mark. From my own perspective, I see this at the level of governance failure because based on AI systems, they're mostly constructed or models are being trained based on preset data and making decisions only based on certain past data about a person's does not necessarily define what the person is capable of or where the person can go to or can drive towards, like in the case where you narrated the aspect of selecting students for a particular program.
Great answer. Okay, good. Prof, could you mute the class so that I don't keep echoing? Thank you. So, thank you very much. So, that was a great answer, okay? But I would tell you that it is both a cybersecurity and a governance failure. She explained completely well the governance aspect of it. But by the end of this presentation, you will understand why it's a cybersecurity and a governance failure. So, what is cybersecurity? What is governance? These are two terms that kind of intertwine together, but I want us to get into the difference of what cybersecurity and governance are. When we talk about cybersecurity, this is the practice of protecting systems, network, data, access. What are you protecting? You're protecting a whole information system. When I tell you a whole information system, I need you to picture the University of Bamenda. How do students log in to your computer lab? Picture everything from the user, figure out what is happening along the network for these connections to happen. That is cybersecurity. You're protecting everything. And we're using technical controls, operational controls, administrative controls, all of this to help protect the entire system, from the databases to the operating systems, to the application, to the end user, to the network, whatever thing that fits within an infrastructure. We're protecting it. That is cybersecurity. And to bring it close to home, you guys are our cryptographic heroes, right? You guys deal with those complex mathematical functions. Cryptography is the core when it comes to protecting information, protecting packages that's in transit and at rest. Cryptography is broad. So what aspect of cryptography? Dr. Thierry spoke about ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What is confidentiality? Anytime anybody tells you what is cybersecurity, cybersecurity is CIA. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability, plus NR. NR stands for non-repudiation. I will explain. Confidentiality is the ability for those who don't need access to a particular thing to not to have access to that thing. You don't need access to be the host of the Zoom. So you should not have access. You don't need access to data. You should not have it. That's confidentiality. And what do we use to ensure that I don't have access to this data if I do not need to have access to? We do encryption. We encrypt the data. I will not go through that because that is your course. So you guys understand more than even me standing here. How do you ensure integrity? That whatever thing you're sending, an email I'm sending to Prof, doesn't get intercepted by a man in the middle? How will Prof know that I've sent him this presentation as an attachment? He got it, and the presentation is exactly what I sent to him. Hashing comes into play. Checksum comes into play. And what happens if I send a document to Prof to sign and he tells me he's not the one that signed it, but he used his digital signature? He cannot refuse it. So all of these are security controls like Ms. Manda and Dr. Thierry spoke about. These are the things we use to secure systems. Information with system packages coming through the network, data at rest, data in transit, access to critical infrastructure. That is cybersecurity. Now, let's go to the other part. What is governance? When you hear governance, I took time to get specific pictures because you might not necessarily need to read, but just seeing the pictures, it tells you what we're about to talk about. Governance is about the rules. University of Bamenda has a governing body. The chancellor, the vice chancellor, they make the decisions at the top. The policies, anything that happens within the university, they are accountable. Governance is about accountability. It's about decision making. It's about oversight. And they ensure that controls that are being implemented by the technical guys within the environment actually align with the company's policies, procedures, and regulatory framework, so that they will not be, one day they tell them you need to pay this amount of fine because you did not meet up with this regulatory requirement. So governance answers the questions, are decisions being made correct? And do they comply with laws and regulations? And can we justify those decisions? On the other hand, cybersecurity is about, is the system protected? And you guys know the best way of protecting the system because you are mathematical cryptology students. Now, any questions, just write it down. Put it in the chart if you can. But at some point, I'll open the floor for questions. So we be mindful of everyone's time. Now, having gone through what cybersecurity and what governance is, I want us to look at traditional IT systems. Why securing traditional IT systems worked, and why in this age of artificial intelligence, it works to an extent, but not completely. Traditional systems, their behavior is deterministic. So all those, our Python, Java guys in class, those who are so good in coding. Logic with regular IT systems is explicit programming. If not, then this. The programmers in class understand more what I'm talking about. So outputs are very predictable when it comes to regular IT systems. There is a bug identified in an application. We have to apply a security patch. We have to do an application upgrade. I need a new functionality within a youngest tech application. What do my developers do? They go and rewrite the codes. They test the codes. They do regression testing to make sure that the new functionality does not break what is currently there. They do static dynamic analysis of those codes. They do static analysis of the codes and dynamic analysis of the application logic itself. That is so step by step. Vulnerabilities that are identified, like Ms. Manda said, the vulnerabilities are remediated. That's how traditional IT systems function. Cybersecurity protects the system with all the controls that we spoke about, CIA and non-repudiation. I did not speak about availability and non-repudiation. Let me bring it here. Cybersecurity is confidentiality, integrity, availability, and non-repudiation. If you can explain those 4 things, that is what cybersecurity is all about. There's no definition you get for cybersecurity without something that relates to keeping information confidential, making sure that information does not change, is not being changed by the wrong person, and making sure the systems are available when needed. When you talk about availability, how do we do availability? How do we ensure that a youngest tech, this Zoom remains available? How do we ensure that this Zoom can take 500 people? 500 concurrent connections, let's speak the language. This Zoom can take 500 concurrent connections, and a hacker wants to disrupt the Zoom. He sends multiple connections up to 500. Us, the valid users, are not able to connect. What kind of attack is that? That's a distributed denial of service attack. Distributed, if it's coming from several computers. Denial of service, if it's just coming from one. They're trying to flood our network. So cybersecurity, how do we protect against that? We already know. It's very easy for us to figure out using DDoS protection mechanisms. Now, non-repudiation. Yes, everything is confidential. Nobody has access to what they don't need to. Integrity, whatever thing is sent to you, we checked it out with the checksum, the same value. Availability, our systems are available because we have several availability zones in the cloud, or we have backups of our application kept in several locations, including an offline location, using the 3-2-1 backup approach, which is keep 3 copies of backup in 2 different media. 1 copy should be offline. That is a regulatory requirement here in the US. Any company offering services to the government, you need to go through an assessment they call FedRAMP to ensure availability in case there's a ransomware attack where an attacker gets into your system, encrypts everything, and asks you to pay a ransom. You should have an offline backup that you can restore and recover your system. That is availability. Now, non-repudiation, it's about you not being able to deny the fact that I am the one who logged into this Center for Technology, Center for Cybersecurity systems at this time. Logging. That is what we use when there's an issue. You go back and check. So non-repudiation, you cannot deny it. Why? Because everything is locked in the system. Here you're thinking about SIM tools like Splunk. Now, that is what we use to secure cybersecurity, that secure systems in the traditional IT way. And governance control on the other part is about defining policies, what the system is allowed to do, and who is accountable. So together, organizations use these 2 core aspects to ensure that the system is secure, the rules are correct, and the outcomes are trusted. Now, let's piggyback a little bit. What if I tell you that today many systems are secure, but the decisions these systems make cannot be trusted? Will you believe me? Today with AI, many systems are secure. But what comes up from these systems as decisions, you have to question them. We have firewalls in place. We've gone through every audit. The university has gone through every audit. The auditors have put their stamps. Everything passed, networks, everything is, controls are in place. Controls are working the way they should work. But the student was not accepted in the program. The student had checked every box. So what happened? This is the shift as we get into AI systems. So I'm taking you guys on a journey. I need you to understand the transition between where we used to be and where we are now with AI systems. Am I communicating? Can I get a thumbs up or hands up, whatever you want? So let me know that I'm not speaking to myself, okay? Okay. All right, let's keep going. Now, could you open the mic for the student center? I need them to answer a question for me. Yes. Prof, could you assign anyone to be taking down the name of the question?
Yes, yes, will be done.
All right. So now I need you guys to tell me, what is AI? You guys have heard about AI. AI. All of us are using AI. What is AI? I need 2 definitions from 2 people. Volunteer, please. Stand in front so that I can see. When you're asking the question, please, I'm sure you know this. What is artificial intelligence?
Only from second question. You can stop right there. Stop there. Yes. It's okay. Yes. Okay, Chofo.
Okay. What's your name?
I am Chofo Hassan. Okay, according to me, artificial intelligence is given to machines or computers the ability to take decision or to think, to act and take decisions almost like a human being without the help of a human or with less input from human beings.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Second.
Any other person?
Yes.
Yeah, Jules, child is from by Jules. I think it's like.
Can you come to the screen? If you cannot see, I don't know even how to say it. Could you come to the center?
Yeah, hello, ma.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Chai is from Bamenda, and what I know about artificial intelligence, I think artificial intelligence are specific like trained models in the context of what we know about data science that has the ability to replicate some human beings' function automatically without necessarily a human being interventions. So that's what comes to my mind directly when it comes when we talk about artificial intelligence.
Good. Yeah. That is a great answer. But one thing I need to tell you something.
Yeah.
You started with I think.
Yeah.
No. You have to be that confident. So much so that even if what you're telling me is wrong, assuming it is correct. We are in a tough world. I think that I'm doubting myself. It's a tough world out there. So whatever you say, say it with your full chest. Even if it is wrong, your confidence can make somebody believe. If systems can say things that are wrong, so what about us? It's the world we are. Never ever make somebody feel you think, no. That's exactly what it is. Your answer is perfectly correct. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm schooling you. Okay, thank you so much. So let's get to. Can you mute the class? Okay, good. Thank you. So let's get to how AI has disrupted this flow of protection and trust that we have in our regular IT systems. What changed with the coming of artificial intelligence? So AI has broken the traditional model entirely. All systems, these AI systems, we don't configure logic into them to function the way we want it to function. AI learns from data. AI learns from data to identify patterns, to make predictions, which are probabilities. So with AI systems, the same input will not guarantee the same output. Have you guys seen this? We all use ChatGPT, right? You put in your picture, you want to design an invitation. ChatGPT will not give you the exact picture that you put inside. It will fix it. With AI, there is no way you put in something once and you get the same thing. Why? Because AI systems are probabilistic in nature. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is data. Large petabytes of data that are used to train what we call models, to identify patterns, to be able to make probabilistic predictions. Whatever you're getting from ChatGPT, it is a probability based on the patterns. AI is probabilistic. Regular IT systems are deterministic. So input into AI will never, ever be exactly the same. If we were using hashing to check that out, we will see. It will never, ever be the same. So what is AI? AI is a lot of data that's been taken, trained, called models to be able to identify patterns. And then once you put, what is this? The AI is able to make a prediction for you. Like the first speaker said, you could have human intervention as well as it could just be automated. We'll look at that when agents come into the picture. Now, AI brings the uncertainty problem because unlike traditional systems that are deterministic, AI is probabilistic. So the same input can yield different results depending on the model state, the training data, and different contexts. What's happening behind the scene? Now, we have various frameworks, AI frameworks. You know, AI is new. Things are just being, organizations, frameworks, governments are trying to come up with various frameworks, laws. We have the ISO IEC 42001 and the NIST AI Risk Management Framework. ISO IEC 42001, it's a global framework, but it's from Europe. It's a European framework. Managing artificial intelligence as an information system. The NIST AI is focused more on the United States, and it is how we govern. It has 4 steps on what you have to do to ensure your AI is secure. And it has a playbook with security controls with those 4 steps that you need to go through and pick every control and make sure it is implemented within the environment, like Ms. Manda said. So both of these frameworks, they are not law. Risk management, the NIST AI, is a voluntary framework. What we have as law, the most comprehensive law that we have on AI today is the European Union AI Act. That law states that any company that builds or deploys AI, when it comes to AI, we have 2 boundaries. We have the deployers and the providers. You and I, we're the deployers. We go pay and get access to ChatGPT. So we're just using the end product. Those who build the system, those are the providers. Now, according to the European Union AI Act, if you are developing a high-risk AI system that makes decisions like this one, that made John not to be admitted to the Center of Cybersecurity and Mathematical Cryptology for no reason, your system has to go through what we call a conformity assessment. This is new. Companies have up to 2027 to comply with this conformity assessment, or they will pay a fine of 7% of their annual global income. So income that Amazon is making from America, Africa, Europe, Asia, they will have to pay that as fine, or 35 million pounds. That is the law. Now, it forces companies to do the right thing. I'm just mentioning this because I know some of you are writing. Go and Google it. You get to understand more. And note that ISO IEC standards are used internationally. They are used in Cameroon. They are used everywhere, even here. So that's a stronger standard. Now, let's look at the risks that AI introduces, right? These risks, we'll analyze them based on the life cycle. So my goal today is to make sure that you guys understand what is AI, the life cycle of AI, why AI differs from traditional IT systems. And when you get what happens from the beginning to the end of AI, you'll be able to position yourself. Where can I focus so that I take it as a profession? All of us have to struggle to figure out how to infiltrate some aspect of AI, because the way these things are taking our jobs, it's mind-blowing. Last month, Anthropic, the biggest AI company in the world right now, released a model within the Claude family That model could test codes, identify vulnerabilities, suggest remediation. Because of that announcement, stocks, software companies, cybersecurity companies, they lost billions of dollars in one day. Because one company came out with a model that's able to completely take the job of developers. Can you imagine that? So what will you be doing as a developer? You write codes, you make sure the codes are secure, they identify vulnerabilities, you fix them. There is a model, a software that can identify all of that at machine speed. Stocks of cybersecurity companies and software companies came crashing. As if that was not enough. Last week, Anthropics again, oh my God, Anthropics is giving us news. Anthropics again did not publicly release, but told us that they have a model called Mythos, M-Y-T-O-S. Let me put it in the chat. You guys need to be current with what's happening in your world. You need to be current, you need to do research, because that's the only way. Let me put it in the chat so that because I don't have all of this in the presentation. Anthropics told us that they have a model that is so efficient at identifying security vulnerabilities, recommending fixes at machine speed. Not only vulnerabilities, but zero-day vulnerabilities. I don't know if you guys know what is zero-day vulnerabilities, but I'll tell you. Zero-day vulnerabilities, these are vulnerabilities that exist on IT systems, that those who even build those systems do not know that they exist. That is why we get a lot of zero-day attacks. Attack happens before the person who built the software is like, oh, so there is a hole here. This class of Anthropics models, Mythos, identifies those things in almost every software, IBM's operating system, everything that they search. And the level of efficiency of this Mythos was scary, to the extent that the AI started evading its own security guardrails. An AI system has guardrails to stop it from over-releasing information, releasing proprietary information. The AI itself started evading its own security protocols. That is dangerous. So that particular class of model has not been released to the public. Instead, they've come together with a couple of companies, the Googles, the Amazons, the US government, a couple of governments, in a project they call Project Glasswing to test this thing. Because it performs so well, but guess what? Like the First Lady said, you need to be able to control, right? We don't have control. It's so efficient, but do we have control over it? The machine is doing its thing and evading our security protocols. Now, that is for your assignment. Go through it, try to figure out what's happening in the AI world. Let's look at the risk AI brings from a life cycle perspective. I always want you to pick the life cycle perspective. Don't focus on the application. It's going to be limiting. You will think you know how to, you need to know how to use prompt, but that's the application. What are you using? AI is data. Where the AI learns. What are the risks? There's the risk of data poisoning, the risk of bias, discrimination, data drift. All of this is where our technical abilities come into play. How do we ensure that an adversary does not get into the container where our models are being trained to poison the data? Once data is poisoned, whatever thing is built from that AI is going to be a problem. We use encryption. We use cryptographic techniques to secure this environment. You use access control. Now, have you thought, why is it that when you get into ChatGPT and you say, ChatGPT, generate me an image. Most of the times, ChatGPT will generate image of a white kid, a white man, a white somebody. Have you ever thought, why is this happening like that? That is how I want you guys to think when you're using AI. They collect data, so much data from majority part of the world, most probably white. They train this data. So if you don't specify, give me a picture with a black kid. Most of the times, put it general, it will give you general. And the general will be a white person. Because they are using data from a specific portion of the world, and we have to generalize the usage of the application. That is bias. That is discrimination. Data drift. I will not go one by one because we are already way out of time. But I need you to understand this foundation, because once you understand it, the other slides, it's going to be just smooth sailing. Now, let's get to the model level. Data, we collect large petabyte of data. We train this data as models. That is the brain of AI. Models are the brain. What are the risks that comes with models? The risk that it can be attacked by adversaries. Hallucination. Hallucination is a big thing with AI. It's not a problem, it's just AI being AI. So what is hallucination? Hallucination is about an AI system giving you a response so confidently, but the response is wrong. As I was speaking to my brother, you have to be so confident, even if what you're saying is wrong. Models hallucinate. The lack of explainability. So during, as I was writing one of my books, Governing Artificial Minds, that Prof was so generous to be part of the reviewers of that book. It's in publishing right now. I got a master's student from the University of Bamenda to be a reviewer of that book. My son was like asking me, "Are you sure?" The child was like, I'll say child. The guy was like, "Are you sure? I am only a master's student. The doctor is asking me to come and review her work." I'm like, "Yes." Do you know why? This guy happens to be my son's friend, and his master's defense was on explainability in AI systems used for medical X-ray. I cannot remember the title, but that is it. So what did this guy research on? How can you explain when you go to the hospital, they tell you, we will use an X-ray machine to do your mammogram. Sorry, they will do your mammogram, and they will use AI to analyze your result because it is very efficient. It picks the tiny little gritters. Now, what this guy was researching was, how do you explain that AI? How do you explain how that AI got to that decision? That is the explainability problem, because AI models are like black boxes. Yes, we train data. As it keeps learning, it gets from development to production. It keeps learning. The person who built it will not even understand at some point what is happening in the minds of those models. That is explainability. So that drew my attention, and I called that little guy. You need to go through my work. Identify loopholes, wherever you think, and I'll be happy to put your name up as a reviewer of Governing Artificial Minds. He was very thorough with his review, trust me on that. So now, get into the decision layer. What the AI concludes, the outputs the AI gives you. What are the risks? Automation bias. Every time we type into ChatGPT, whatever ChatGPT gives us, most of us will just believe We rely too much to the extent that our mental abilities, the abilities to think out of the box is degrading because we over-rely on outputs from AI and we do not even check. All of us have failed that. All of us we are guilty of this crime. And then we get to the agent layer. This is where we don't do manual prompts anymore. ChatGPT does not, what we're using is not an agentic AI. That one, you're just using a GUI to communicate with whatever the model is giving you. Agents are the body. I'll explain that as we go further. So we have prompt injection attacks. Take it down, prompt injection. Let me put in the chat. This is the most dangerous attack AI systems are facing right now, and they don't even know what to do about it. What is prompt injection? This changes the dynamics of securing AI systems. AI can be attacked just by you communicating with it. You see how you just go to ChatGPT, you're asking questions? Yes. You can ask questions to ChatGPT that can make ChatGPT to evade its security protocols and give you information that it's not supposed to give you. That is prompt injection. You can upload documents into ChatGPT, and somewhere you write something, tell ChatGPT, can you give me the codes, how do they call this thing? Let me use another example. Can you verify if Elon's data was used to train this AI? In a malicious way, AI will give you output because AI's job is to give you output, right? That is prompt injection. That is why it is so difficult. How do you protect against that kind of an attack? The person has authorized access, he got into the AI, and now just chatting with the AI is responding, he attacks the AI. That is where we are. Okay, having spent a lot of time on this, we've gone through the limitations of cybersecurity measures. We have data encryption. We're protecting our data in transit and at rest. We're using the top-notch, hard-to-crack encryption algorithms. But do you know that this encryption cannot prevent biased decisions? Can encryption help us explain why the AI made that decision of rejecting that boy? We have systems that are so protected, fully encrypted, but yet they are attacked. How can you explain that? We have access control. Only authorized people are accessing that system. But access control alone and identification outlets, they cannot control what AI does after you've given me access to AI, especially enterprise AI. Firewalls are there, that's perimeter security. But the risk happens in the internal logic, as we've seen on the various stages of the life cycle. Now, let's look at the governance gaps. We've looked at the limitations for cybersecurity. Let's look at the governance gaps. Every organization has a policy. It passes audits, but yet these policies are rarely embedded within the decision layers of AI systems. We have guardrails, right? Sometimes the AI evades its own guardrails, or adversaries manipulate the AI to evade its guardrails. We have frameworks, but they are still struggling to figure out the right framework that works for AI systems. We pass audits, but can we explain why the AI made that decision of not admitting a kid who was so perfect, checked every box? So we are compliant, but we are not in control. The governance across the life cycle, we've looked at the data stage. We were looking at the data stage, the model stage, deployment, decision, and monitoring stages. That's exactly what we just looked at. On the data layer, what are you, me, the technical guys, what do we have to do? Because AI is built on IT infrastructure. AI, especially enterprise AI, they are mostly built in, the models are built in containers. What are containers? We have a container technology. Those are builders, those are building applications. They're very conversant with terms like this. Applications are now built as lightweight with everything in a container that helps the application to run from runtime, everything. That is where these models are trained. These models are trained in containers. So start getting, what can I do to fit myself as a technical person within the AI space? Start getting into Kubernetes, Docker. Docker is a container. Kubernetes is orchestration. You have so many models, a model to check admission of students, a model to check in patients when they come to a doctor's office, those different models. They are being trained in containers, just like the name container. It has everything, runtime, everything that needs for the application to run. It's in that container. That container, you have 200 containers. How do you manage that? That is where Kubernetes comes into play. Kubernetes is orchestration. Think of Kubernetes as in an airport, you have the tower, right? The tower that monitors up the control tower that tells you your plane can take off. You're clear to land. And think of Docker containers as so many airplanes. That person at the control tower tells who has access to what, controls every plane within that airport. If that person does not tell you to take off, you cannot take off because you can cause an accident. That is Kubernetes. So think of Kubernetes as the control tower in an airport, and think of Docker as the various planes where models are being built, models are being trained. So what do we do to ensure integrity? Cryptography. We're looking at SHA-256, digital signatures. What do we do to fight against data poisoning? Applications, we should always think about info validation. If I put a number, if you're filling an application, you have where they put dates. Dates should take just numbers. And you're able to put letters in date. That application has a problem. Data quality, we need to know where we are getting our data from. Bias, of course, we have to be fair. Let's collect data from every angle because these AI make decisions that are used by everyone in the world. And we should be able to trace end-to-end lineage when it comes to data, metadata, and track regulatory provisions. You know, there are some systems in the US where you have to be sure where your data is being stored if you're using a cloud provider like Zoom. You cannot just, your data has to be stored. They have a geolocation restriction. It has to be stored within the confines of the United States. Now, let's get to the more interesting part. We're getting from the data level, we're getting to the model level. What is a model? A model is a mathematical system. This is your thing because you guys are into mathematical functions that will break our heads. Yes, that is a model. A model is a mathematical system that is trained on data to recognize patterns and make predictions or decisions based on input. Model is that part of AI that learns from data and able to make predictions. In our last class, Monday, our AI guru was explaining to the students how models are trained, the various loops. He will join us as we get on. So by the end of this presentation, you'll definitely be there for you guys to ask him many questions. So when we talk about models, models learn from data to identify patterns, to produce outputs. And you know these outputs are probability predictions. Are this output 100% correct? Of course not. How can a probability be 100% correct? So you have to check. It could be as well as it could not be. We cannot talk about models without talking about large language models, LLMs. That is what Gen AI is built on. What is Gen AI? Gen AI is a type of AI that uses text, generates content. Large language models It's a model that is trained on massive corpora of data, and it understands and generates human language confidently. All these chatbots, all these applications that you go and put your picture, it makes it nice, or you put information, can you generate this for me? It does it. These are large language models. And all these complexities are coming because these LLMs gets really complicated to secure. That is Gen AI. Gen AI is an aspect of, LLMs are part of Gen AI. We have different chatbots. We have ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI. Those are some of the companies that you need to know. I learned from my last class with my prof. Always know these companies. We have Claude. Claude is Anthropic's because you can get the free versions. What is Claude good at? Those developers, those coders, Claude has a lot of stuff for you. Grok, it's owned by XAI. I've not used Grok before. DeepSeek is owned by a Chinese company. Gemini, Google. All these are Gen AI. Gen AI generating content. AI is able to interpret and generate content, image, language that's so confident and feels like human beings. That is generative AI. So at the model level, what are the controls? What are the security controls that us, the technical people, have to be sure that that model we're building within the container is secure? The NIST risk management framework emphasizes on TEF. What is TEF? And you validate at every point in time. You make sure you do red teaming. You talk about red teams, blue teams, purple teams. These are all ways of protecting our systems. Red teams, you try to break into that model. You act like a hacker. Blue team, on the other hand, is us. We're trying to protect against you breaking in. Purple team is a combination of red team and blue team. So most organizations nowadays go with the purple team so that they have red team members that when they build systems, they try to break into it like hackers, as well as they have blue team members that are trying to stop the attack. Those are some of the things we need to do at the model layer. We need to figure out how do we ensure explainability? How can we explain why this system failed this guy and said he doesn't qualify when he qualifies? We need to be able to figure out how do we test ways of fighting prompt injections and other attacks from adversaries. How do we harden our models? We need to be able to do model versioning and change control. This is very important. It looks like more of theory, but it's very important. Why? Because when you test models, you have various versions. You have various upgrades. So you have a ChatGPT 3.0 to 4.0 to 5.0. When you make a mistake and you instead go and be using the ChatGPT 3.0, that maybe vulnerabilities have been identified in that version, it's a mistake. If you do not version them, it will be hard for you to know that this is what we're using currently. And then we spoke about Docker, securing the containers where these models are built. And Kubernetes, that is the orchestration that manages this Docker these models that are trained in Docker containers. At the decision level, this is where governance comes into play. Do we have policies in place to restrict certain use? Do we have human in the loop? HITL. Take this down. I'm giving you keywords that I'll need you to study after. Human in the loop. What is human in the loop? Let's have a human being that okays the decision of an agent, of an AI application before it goes at scale. Decisions that affect people, like the one we're talking about. A child's life is put at stake because the system made a wrong decision. Why do you automate it completely? We're looking at the decision threshold. There is always a threshold for a hallucination, a threshold for drifting. AI is probability, so there is a chance that it will lie. AI is making decisions from patterns learned from data. What if the data they're using for that particular model is the data that is as at maybe during the COVID time? And then you ask an AI that was built on that data, what is the reason for people not traveling too much during this time? And the AI tells you it's because of COVID. That's hallucination. That is a lie. And have you thought, why did this AI lie? AI does not understand truth from wrong. It does not understand intention. That is why a hacker will come, put in its own request, the AI will still give out the information. So now we are dealing with a situation where, how do we protect a system that can be attacked just by talking to the system? At a decision layer, we should have logging in place. Everything that is done by every agent, every human being should be logged in. Same, we're talking about the same tools. And we should be able to have an override mechanism. We give a lot of powers to an AI agent, and at some point, the AI agent gets weaponized by an adversary. We should be able to have a kill switch to stop that agent after we recognize that there is something not right about it. These are the controls that we need to put in place at the model layer, at the decision layer. Now, let's get to the fun part, right? The agents layer. What is an AI agent? An AI agent is a system, software that uses AI models to perceive its environment, make decisions, and take action to achieve particular objectives. This is an agent. What we use, ChatGPT, that's a traditional AI. But we ask, it gives us answers, recommendations. Agents execute. Now, this is where we get the difference between the AI we use and enterprise AI. Enterprise used by companies. This is where we lose our jobs because we have deployed one agent that talks to several models and is able to build software, identify vulnerabilities in that software, scan the software, recommend fixes, all at machine speed. We've programmed it. It will do this, this, and this. And based on predictions of its model, it can even go beyond. Now we're going to autonomous agents. Autonomous agents is a higher level of AI agents. These ones make decisions and take actions on their own without asking without any human intervention. They don't want to have human intervention. They just sit and feel, I think it's raining outside. I need to, no, let me use a practical example. It's already more than time, right? We're supposed to end at 9:30. I think it's time. This seminar is supposed to end at 9:30. I just shut up the Zoom. Why? Because the model is saying the training is supposed to end at this time. But if now there's a human, yes, the training is supposed to end at this time, but we still have something to cover. Do you guys get the gist? Autonomous agents. Oh, this traffic light is red. I don't see any, no, this traffic light is green. I don't see any cars, and I just feel like I should put it to red. It's based on patterns from its model. So imagine a hacker from the data level. The data was poisoned. We've built this system. We're using ChatGPT everywhere. And the information that was used to train ChatGPT is wrong. ChatGPT starts behaving contrary. ChatGPT is just following what the models are saying. So it was very interesting for me to be able to explain these complex concepts in a book for kids. My second book, it's a comic series for kids, Guidance of Tomorrow, Artificial Intelligence. to explain all of this in a fun way that a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old will be able to understand what is AI. That AI is data, patterns, probability, predictions. And how does AI work? AI is from data being trained as models, and now getting to agents that are taking action. So what is the difference between the models and the agent? The model is the brain. That is the brain box. That is where the data is. That is where the patterns are. That's where you have trained the AI. You have put on security guardrails. You have made sure that the AI does not divulge too much information. You've put every security guardrail you need to. I saw online, there's one popular blogger in Cameroon, Future, who was saying something, and he said, AI is ask AI something, and then later said, AI, I love you. The AI said, I'm so grateful to be part of your blah, blah. He said, tell me that you love me too. The AI is not configured to do that. So if he likes, he says it 100 times. There's a guardrail for that. That is a guardrail. So the model is the brain. It thinks, it predicts, and it answers the question, what should happen? But the model does not act. You sit in your house, I feel like I should attend the seminar. I'm not feeling well. There will be so much traffic. It's in the afternoon. I really want to go home early. I already finished my classes in the morning. That is the model. That is your brain thinking. Your body says you will attend. Until your body goes to attend, it will only remain in the model, right? That is the difference between a model and an agent. The agent executes what you are thinking in your brain. So your body moves to do what the brain is telling you to do. You make it happen. That is an agent. Are you guys getting me? Can I have a thumbs up, hands up, whatever, if you are getting, if I'm not speaking to myself? Okay. So how do we secure agents and autonomous agents? We need access. Now, us, the technical people, will come into play. So there is no way AI can function effectively without us. But to better position ourselves in this very difficult and troubling economy, you need to identify, like I said, what can I contribute within this AI sphere? What can I do? What skills can I learn that will make me valuable? You need to learn how to secure models, how to secure agents. These are completely different, but we are using the same technical skills that you guys are using, that you're learning in school. So you see, it's a two-way thing. You need the technical guys to build the systems. The only thing is you need to move from your traditional DevOps now to AI DevOps. You need to move from thinking in a traditional way of securing the systems, data with encryption, to move to the fact that you will not only secure that data, you will be able to secure the agent, you'll be able to secure the model, the data, the training pipeline. So now, how do you coin that to align with what is happening in the world today? We're looking at access. Permissions. These agents should be given permission. They don't need to have access to everything. You look at their API allow listing. Of course, guardrails. Approval workflow. So there should be a human in the loop, especially for high impact actions that affect us. And there should be continuous monitoring, because a lot happens with AI. This ChatGPT we're using today, it could be suffering from a drift, but you will not even know. So you need to have mechanisms in place that can identify that the data we use to train this model is beginning to drift in context. It no longer means the world has moved on. So we need to get new data that reflects the current situation of what is happening in the world. That is drifting. Agents can be hijacked. Agents hijack. Agents can be hijacked by adversaries. So what are the things? Go and Google. What can we do to help protect agents from being attacked. Not even completely being attacked, because of course, there's nothing in cybersecurity like 100% securing the system. You guys know that, right? You're just trying to reduce the ability of an attack, because of course it will happen. Someday it will happen. But how do you reduce the probability of that happening? You make sure all your technical controls, your cryptographic measures are in place, from the data to the model to the agent. And you have a kill switch if this agent goes wacko. If it starts behaving like some other person is controlling it, we can just kill it. And all of this boils down to the fact that whatever thing we do, it should be logged in. Now, you see, this is an aspect of non-repudiation. Audit trails. We're able to monitor you logged in at this time. We're able to see. We have a centralized monitoring system. Now, not only for human beings, but also for agents. Agents take action. When did the agent take an action? What prompted the agent to take an action? You start going out to the model. Are you guys getting the flow? Please, could you unmute the class? Let me understand if you guys are with me.
Yes, madam.
How is the lecture?
Very, very interesting.
I see that nobody is shaking.
Nobody's shaking. Yeah, I'm shaking. Nobody's shaking, guys. Just like what I've learned is
Okay.
kind of very, very simple now. We need to learn to get our job.
All right. For those online, any comments? I'll open the floor for questions. Let's just keep the questions to the end. So write it down. Those online, any questions, any comments?
Not yet, madam.
Okay. Sorry, I have to be drinking because I'm talking. So kinds of drain me somehow. Okay. Now, I want us to have a deep dive into what we call hallucination. And after this, I'll need you to explain to me what will make an AI system hallucinate. We've gone through the life cycle from data, models, agents. After this explanation, tell me what will make an AI system to hallucinate at every level of the life cycle. I will take just one person because of time constraint. So, what is hallucination? It's AI generating confident output. That sounds so correct, but it's actually wrong. It is not the intention of the AI system to lie. Why? Because AI systems are what? Probabilistic. So the answer it's giving you is the best it could get based on its patterns. It doesn't know that it's an incorrect answer. And because AI systems are probabilistic, confidence does not equal correctness. And the fact that my patterns are showing me that this is the most likely thing to happen does not mean that that is a fact. AI sounds so convincing, confident, and it's hard to detect hallucination if we don't have, we'll come back to controls, security controls in place. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, thank you for that. So let's look at how we can manage the AI telling us a lie at the various stages. The mother, the origin. Hallucination could be created, is created at that level. How does an AI system give you a response to something that is not wasn't part of its training? The AI system has to respond. Have you ever asked a question and AI does not respond? It will respond. But do you feel that because AI is responding, it means that everything you're asking him is within its model? No. That is where we get to a point, like my prof was explaining in class the other day. Inference. Inference. What is inference? You see how you put information into ChatGPT, you're asking stuff, it gives you stuff. That information you're putting could be used to infer and be able to respond to a question that does not necessarily have data within the models. But because somebody said this, you said it could mean that probability. Now, how do we ensure that at the model level, if I ask a question to the AI that is not within its model and is not very confident within its threshold to infer and respond to me, it could go to various pipelines that AI has been connected to. That is called a RAG, Retriever Augmented Generation. All of us have experienced it, but we just did not know that that's the term they use. You see how you were typing on ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT, can you provide me this? You see, it's giving you history, searching the web, searching this website, searching this other website. That is RAG. For information, which could be something that just happened, they don't have it in their model. So they have the pipelines are connected to external sources like Google, other websites that they can retrieve that information and be able to present it to you. That will help the AI from giving you a lie. That is RAG. That is one of the ways that companies building AI make sure that the pipelines are incorporated into different sources where their AI application could get data that the model does not necessarily have and is not able to infer and produce a response that falls within a confident threshold. But now, because your application is connected to several external sources, it introduces risk too. Another aspect at the model level to reduce hallucination is by using reinforcement learning from human feedback. RLHF. You will not hear people talking all this long grammar. You will just hear RAC. You will just hear RLHF. What is it? When you are training your model and you're testing the model to see if it meets the various thresholds, human should have feedback. That is a human reinforcement during the learning process of the model. So a human could say, no, this is a lie. This doesn't align. And then you go back and train the model. Like my boss was saying, to train an AI model takes a lot of energy, a lot of GPUs to train one model. Now, let's go to the decision control. No, let's go to the decision control stage. Decision control, that is when response to us. Now, that is where we catch hallucination. ChatGPT is telling us a lie. This is a lie. So what can we do? And look at the confidence threshold, the fact checking, and then we have a human in the loop. Human in the loop to identify aspects or traces of hallucination. And then we get to the monitoring level. This is where you continuously check that the version of ChatGPT we are using, the responses is given today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, still aligns. Give me 1 second, please. still aligns. Now, to the agent's level, this is where an agent makes a decision that affects large populations of people. Hallucination is active. The agent of that system for Center for Cybersecurity made a wrong decision and did not admit. Let's say John. Let's take his name to be John, even though he had everything. Let's take another example. The US system for lottery. Of course, we need AI to automate a lot of things. And the agent makes a decision that excludes everyone from Cameroon from getting the DV lottery. How did that decision come to play? Can you explain it? So the impact is wide. So that is why the European Union AI Act tells you for systems that have impacts that affect human beings, you need to be sure, they need to go through a conformity assessment by an external party to confirm that there are checks and balances within the system. Just so you know, the US does not have any law on AI. The US has frameworks and does not have any global law, not like any law. It has frameworks, voluntary. You can use it as well as you cannot use it. It has procurement requirements. You want to bid for this contract, you must make sure that this AI system is this. So various states, various agencies are coming up with their own laws. There is nothing global. But given that most of these companies that build AI systems, even though they're in the US, these systems are used by European citizens. The European law requires that anything that is used by a European citizen must comply with the European Union AI Act. So you see they are stuck. They have to follow the rules. That is why, from every indication they are getting, they have to follow what the European Union AI Act is saying, except you want to limit your market. Now, hallucination is created at the model stage and is caught at the decision stage and can be amplified. The impact can be amplified at the agent stage. What could make an AI system to hallucinate? Who is that one person to explain to me? What could make an AI system to hallucinate? To tell you a lie, I just need one reason. Please, could you open the mic for the class?
Yes, come this way, please.
Good day, madam.
Good day, sir. How are you?
This is Apo Ezekiel. Okay.
Oh, hi, Ezekiel.
Okay. So one of the things that will make an AI hallucinate is right from the data that is used to train the AI. If it's biased, as you if it's biased, for example, you begin to ask it questions in the Cameroon context, but it's giving you answers. It references the American context and is giving you answers in the Cameroon context very confidently, and without even telling you that these answers are specific to a particular culture. Another thing that could happen is if the AI at the monitoring stage, if the AI is not regularly updated with new info. For example, when AI just came in 2022, I remember the ChatGPT. It used to say that ChatGPT is basically offline, that it does not have access to current information. Now that it actually it has evolved and it's now gone online, and they try to update it regularly. If the people monitoring it don't endeavor to feed it with regular live data, then it's going to give you answers confidently that it has live data, but which it does not have because the people monitoring it are not able to update it. Another thing that could cause it is at the decision level where the AI has been trained and has not been trained to actually give the AI has been trained in such a way that it cannot accept that it does not know anything. It keeps, when you ask it a question, it will endeavor to must give you an answer, be it wrong or right. It endeavors to give you an answer no matter what, even if it's out of its scope.
Wow. I'm lost of words. How your response makes me feel. So I'm actually saying something and you are getting it. What is your name again?
Akko Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. Thank you. He has explained everything and he basically used almost every layer. That is how I want you guys to go through with this thing. Because once you're able to determine what happens at every one point in time, he just convinced me that if I have a job, I should give him. You get the point? Because he's able to ascertain not just what he's comfortable doing, which is at the application level, just doing whatever you want it to do for you, but thinking, what could make this AI give me this wrong answer? Ezekiel, thank you very much for that response. That's a very complete response, seriously. Now, I preach defensibility in AI systems. Why do I say so? I write a lot of articles on LinkedIn. I see some of you sent me follow requests on LinkedIn yesterday, and I accepted all of them. I write a lot of articles on AI. I've written books on AI, so articles should be a small thing, right? So what is defensibility? This is an aspect we, the cybersecurity professionals, we are trying to push because sorry. My daughter is calling me. This is something we, the cybersecurity professionals, are trying to push. Yes, you've trained your model within the pipelines. You've secured the pipelines. You've made sure that the data you're using, it's up to date. The data is not biased. There's no discrimination. You've made sure that the containers where your models are being trained that identify patterns and be able to make predictions, all of that is secure. From adversarial attacks, you've made sure that your agent makes the decisions and there's a human in the loop. Now, this application rejected John's application to get into the master's program for Center for Cybersecurity and Mathematical Cryptology. Can you explain to me what happened? That is governance. Are you able to prove that, oh, I'm sorry, the model that we had at that time, the data was not up to date, so it kind of drifted and it used the wrong data to be able to identify the wrong patterns that forced the agent to make the decision, take action based on what the model is. Can you tell me that? During an audit or in a situation where John files in a request for what happened? Can you tell me what happened? That is defensibility. You're able to defend the decisions taken by your AI systems. Sorry to disappoint you. So many companies are just buying AI applications left, right, helping them do work so fluently, and they are not able to explain when there is an issue. Can you trace the AI decision? What do we use for tracing? Logging. Can you explain why the model made the decision? Your model, you understand your model is not a black box. Are you able to be accountable to say, this is what happened and this was the mistake? Are you able to do that? Are you able to defend that decision? So the thing is, let me piggyback on something. Most companies feel because they are using an application that is built by OpenAI, whatever thing happens, it's OpenAI's responsibility. No. OpenAI is the provider, you are the deployer. First things first, when you're getting into contracts to use AI applications, you need to understand the SLA. What is it that you are responsible for? No, the SLA deals with the timing. How long can you accept your ChatGPT going offline? What is the recovery point objective? What's the recovery time objective? We're looking at the enterprise level right now. Forget this prompts that we're using. We're using at an enterprise level where they have an AI application, they use it to do several things. You have your own justification to give because you are the one who bought my product and you are using it. So if you have decided you want to use my product, you should be accountable for what that decision that product makes to a certain degree, a larger extent even. Because you were supposed to do your due diligence and ask me all those questions about the back end. Make me give you documentation that proves that that model is up to date. The threshold for hallucination is low. You constantly update data to avoid content and drifting. If you do not get all of that from the AI provider and something happens, what are you saying? You don't even have anything to say. That is defensibility. That's what we lack. Now, we have been here for a long time. We've been on this call for a long time. Trust me. I'm used to talking. My profs are used to talking. We teach for 4 hours, 3 hours, so we're used to talking. I don't know if you guys are used to sitting this long in class. But now, based on this conversation we've had, right? You all are governance of intelligent systems. AI systems are intelligent systems that make decisions. They are decision-making bodies. We've built these systems from technical, regular IT environments. The systems have a difference from the regular IT systems that we know. Now, we are trying to figure out how can we incorporate the way we protect and trust regular IT systems to AI systems. And I am here telling you that you can do that to an extent. And you need to figure out new ways of protecting a system that's able to make an intelligent decision that affects the lives of people. Until you understand the complete life cycle, you will not be able to explain decisions made at the application level. That is why I had to take you guys through this journey, because you guys are software developers, you are engineers, you are AI architects. And for sure, someday you will build systems that will make decisions that will affect our lives. Whenever you're doing that, I want you to have this in mind. Like I always say, my developers code perfectly well. Their job is to make sure that that system works. My job as a security person is to make sure that what they have written as codes is secured. That system, though it works, it should not be hacked. Or the probability that it can be hacked should be low, because there's nothing like it cannot be hacked. Even AS256, that is like the strongest encryption and rest, of course, it can be broken. It just takes a lot. So my question to you guys is, you all are future technicians, architects, AI developers, governance practitioners. There are systems you will build that will affect our lives. And the future will not ask you how well that system was built, how powerful it is. It will ask you, are you able to be accountable for what that system, the decisions that system makes? Can you defend why that system made this decision? You're not just building a system that works, you're building a system you can defend. Not only defend, did you make sure that that system is traceable, explainable, and I, as an executive, I can be accountable confidently to explain an error the system made? That is AI governance. That is AI cybersecurity. You need to protect this system so hard. You need to figure out ways of protecting a system that constantly changes its decisions because it's probabilistic. That's why an input can never ever be the same twice when it comes to AI. There must be some tiny difference. It is not deterministic like our regular IT systems. So the big takeaway here is we are all in school. We're trying to learn the various aspects of technology. And what I need you to know is that you need to do a lot of research to be on top of what is happening in the technology world. You don't want to be behind. Things are evolving really fast. And having a proper understanding of what sells right now, which is artificial intelligence, at every life cycle, every stage of its life cycle, puts you ahead of the curve. A lot of people just know much about the application there. That's it. So when you ask them what is AI, they will not be able to give you, they don't even understand how AI comes about. But today, I can confidently say, without fear of contradiction, that you guys understand what artificial intelligence is and what we have to do from the regular traditional systems to protecting artificial intelligence system. Is that a fair assessment? Please unmute the mic. I need to know if I've done my job.
Yes, it is. Perfectly.
I heard from one person. Was it that bad?
No, it was fun.
I was quite intense.
Okay. All right. Now, before we get to questions, I don't know if my Mr. Hernandez, are you Mr. Hernandez, are you on? When it comes to the technical aspects, when it comes to AI, I also want to sister and friend, Dr. Harriet. Doc, are you able to say hello to the students? She should be aware. Whenever she's ready, let us know. Now, we're getting to the fun part, right? Questions, discussions. Let's discuss, let's debate, let's defend. We have 15 minutes for this exercise. We have our website. Our websites are on. A Youngest Tech, read about it. It's a cybersecurity consulting company, and we also focus on training the next generation of cybersecurity and AI governance experts. We have Mentor Mar. This is a global mentorship platform that I built because just like you, I need someone, if I want to get into AI, I'll be looking for a Dr. Mavis to direct me. Not everybody knows me. So how can I help in my own way? Because I was in a situation where I didn't have anybody to guide me when I got here, struggling to transition into IT and cyber. I had to go test the waters. Now I'm the one guiding other people. So what if I build a system where you students, you want to become AI practitioners, you want to become DevOps, you want to become a teacher, you want to get into institutions. Oh my God. I'm supposed to attend a minute. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I need to multitask. Yeah. And we also have my website that I will be having a meeting tomorrow with my developers. It will be going online most probably next week. The drmavisofe.com website. That's about my speaking engagements on my speaking careers, my conferences. That is, if you want to book me for something, we'll be going there. And our company email, anything you need, this presentation, those who need it, just talk to Prof. He has it. And we also have a more detailed one that I wanted you guys to really came across with the concepts really detailed. Prof has it too. This is a lot more summarized. So he will share it with those who want it. For those who are online and not students of the university, you can always send us an email to info@youngest.tech. We'll send you the presentation, or you could get to my PR who is online. Adonis, give them whatever means they can get to you. Just put it in the chat. Whatever you need from us, that is the right person to go to, because it's not easy for me to, be everywhere. It's overwhelming, And if you want to contact me on social media, of course, I do social media. You have my LinkedIn, you have my TikTok, the company's TikTok, you have my Instagram and my Facebook. You have everything you need. So the floor is open for questions.
Okay, questions? Okay, yeah. First question?
Yeah. My name is Tanka Desmond. I'm a master's student at the Center for Cybersecurity and Mathematical Cryptology. Specifically, my field is applied cybersecurity and mathematical cryptology. Thank you once more. The event was very impactful and informative. And thanks our Prof for connecting with you to bring us this wonderful presentation. We also have I think 2 questions, one on the presentation and another one is a general question.
Okay.
Yeah, you made mention of Anthropic companies that are building powerful AIs that can find and fight for the vulnerabilities. So I just want to know if as cybersecurity enthusiasts we still have some hopes, maybe the next 2 to 3 or 4, 5 years to come. Yes, so that's the first question. And then the second question. Okay, the question is, as Anthropic companies are building powerful AIs that can find and patch vulnerabilities. So for us that are cybersecurity enthusiast experts into the field, I don't know if you still have some hopes. Maybe it comes next 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And then coming to maybe the global stage, the global tech, Africans are maybe biased. So I don't know if your journey from Cameroon to US, I don't know what you did to get there. Was this education? Your hard work, your competence. I don't know if you face some challenges and how the challenges that you face because some of it to have hopes. I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Great question. Please, can you mute so I could answer? So, yes, that was a great question. To your first question, what you just asked, so many people are asking about the same thing. Are we safe? That is the reason why no sugarcoating, right? Things are a little dicey right now. So, how do you survive? How do you get out and become one of those that will not suffer the fate of automation of AI? That is why you need to figure out what can you do to add value when it comes to AI systems. And that's one of the reasons why I took time to go through the life cycle. So I need you to take time, go back, sit, reflect. What aspect within the AI life cycle can I fit into? And what are the things I could learn so that I am of value in this very changing world? Anthropics is building powerful stuff. But remember, I have been talking and I keep telling you there should be a human in the loop. Compliance laws are evolving. At some point, of course, they will need a human to be able to approve certain decisions. That human can be you. But of course, the numbers are going down. The numbers are going down. So what can you do to take yourself out of the crowd? Assignment for you. You've listened, you have recordings, you have the slides, you have questions, you have our email, you need directions, you know how to contact us to help you. What specific area within the AI sphere can you incorporate within your technical background in order to stay relevant? That is what I tell my students. The last cohort of a youngest tech, we had AI, but it was just passive. This time, AI is taking about more than a month for the training session. Why? Because we need to read what's happening in the tech world. Things are changing. So if I go and I speak confidently how I know how to secure AI, of course, and somebody is telling me how he knows how to secure just a regular system, who will you take? Because almost every company is using an AI application. So to your first question, yes, these systems are so powerful that they're eliminating jobs. Try to make yourself elimination proof by fitting one way or the other into something in AI that will make you stay relevant. That's my answer for your first question. For the second question, my brother, life is not easy. Life is tough. Let me tell you a little bit about this question you just asked me. Like I said, I'm from medical. I know government support. That's what I know. That's what my parents were afford. All of a sudden, I had help from a reverend father, and my dad was like, okay, go do your high school in St. Bede's College of Ashinkon. That was privilege to me because people of my time don't find themselves in those kind of schools. But my dad only knew that as they paid 100,000, that's the fees. When I got back home, because they drove me from school for fees, he got to understand. There was not only that 100,000 that he struggled to get. When you read my book, The Unstoppable Book, you will see the trend, what I went through. The challenges were enormous. You don't want to know the number of times I went to the embassy to get a visa. But like I said, quitting is not an option. I was a regular player of DB Lottery that I never won. I went to the embassy 4 times in my life. It was the 5th time. I'd given up completely. I did not want to go anywhere. My husband said, go and try. I said, I'm just from there last week. I am tired. Let me just stay in this Cameroon quiet. He said, just go and try. You never know. And it's that time that I was about to give up that he gave me a visa. I came here, went back, came here, went back. My kids were saying, I cannot leave my children there like that. It was a lot. I've been away from my husband for so long, but I kept the faith. So you might see maybe some people take me for, oh, she's so tough. It's because I had to be a man and a woman in Douala. You all know how Douala is. You have to be tough to survive in Douala. I worked for Union Bank for 5 years, 5 to 6 years, being the man and the woman. You can understand what that means. And then when I finally struggled and came over, I looked for accounting jobs because that is what I learned in University of Bamenda. 500 applications, nothing. Nothing was showing, nothing at all. Frustration kicked in. Then somebody advised my husband I should go do IT. I'm getting to IT. What do I even know? What do I think no? But just the fact that I was working in a bank and I was working with the ITs, of course, I started developing interest. Then I knew that you never know. There are always little sparks, little things that you've done that could be a starting point for you. I got into that IT class. A village girl that just entered America. How did they get to know me in class? The first, we take exams. The first part of the exam, my son had an accident. He fell, so I had to take him to go and do X-ray. So that exam, I was all over the place. We had prepared. And during that exam, our prof gives 50,000 to the person who finishes first. It's a tech exam. And of course, we know our popular guy who knows tech from, you wake him up from bed, he can tell you how databases function from A to Z. They were surprised because that test, that exam, I finished in no time and I got 100 on 100. So they're like, now which get that? But my goal was not getting the money. I was in a rush to finish and go take my son to the hospital. But that was when they were like, who is that girl? They started knowing me. I did not have to announce myself. My work proved itself. Okay, forget that part. We got into IT, started. You have to survive in this game. You have to survive. In the corporate world, like I was telling my brother there, you have to be that confident, even if you don't know anything. Because just your confidence alone could convince somebody that you're right, even if you're wrong. We have to navigate getting into IT with no experience and making sure that I feel like we have a lot of experience from Cameroon in IT and all of that. And of course, we keep persisting. It was not easy. Taking interviews, and finally got a job. Here, no, I had to be flying every week because I needed something I could start on. So I'm flying every week to a state in Boston when I live in Maryland. Every week I was in an airplane. You see that thing and say, oh, you enjoy plane. I enjoy plane on. I detested getting on a plane. Monday I'm on a plane. Thursday I'm flying back. I have kids. I have to do the assignments. I did that for 9 months. And it's not like I went there and somebody taught me what to do. So I'm leaving school, coming with theory, and all of a sudden to work for an organization that has Harvard doctors conducting research in Boston. managing their data, managing their systems. The person who built that system resigned as I entered day one. The person who knows everything about that system left. Everything on me. I've never been dry in this world. I've never suffered like that. But guess what? There are days I will cry. And these guys, you know, the white guys, they like look low on us. Like, oh, Mavis has spoiled my system. Oh, every complaint was coming from left, right. I had to sit up. I had to study. I had to figure out. I went there as an Oracle DBA. I ended up being an Oracle DBA, SQL DBA, Postgres DBA, FileMaker DBA. What is FileMaker? I don't even know what is FileMaker. I had to learn it. I had to learn all of those things. And before leaving there, I built them a whole infrastructure. Now, they don't want me to go because I'm looking for a job where my family is. And I got a job where my family is. I had to leave. They were begging me not to go. They told me to take my computer and come and work where I am. That's when I had to open up to them that I am not based in Boston. I have to be flying every week. They said, no problem. Just take the computer. Work where you are. Anytime you want to work, it's okay. Why? Because I put in so much work to build myself from a nobody. From somebody who does not understand anything in IT. That did not end there. I'm like, so many people have a database job. So many people are using our first degree from out of country. But these people here, they prefer when you present a degree that is from their university. What can I do to make myself stand out of the crowd? And what area can I focus on that will, like, you know, technology changes, that will still be valid? Is there anybody I could even ask? I've thought of cybersecurity. I did my research. Of course, hackers will always be there. But what part of cybersecurity? You see what prompted me to build Mentor One? Because I suffered to figure out which part is good. And I don't want people coming behind me to do the same thing, to suffer the same way. That is why I built that platform, to have experts and people who want information to ask the experts. I finished that. But Masters, yeah, a lot of people have master's degree. Man, we just finished this thing. So I'm like, okay, I have to. I got into my doctorate program. Dr. Thierry is my classmate. We started the same day. In a university that is in another state, purely white state, like 99% of the students are white. We are just the minority. We started this program. It wasn't easy. My doctorate is in computer science, specialty in cybersecurity and information assurance. You have to be an SME, a subject matter expert in computer science. You see all those your coding things, all those your Python things, all those dashboard things. You have to know. You have to know how to be able to, through you a company, build a security network for this company. You need to start from internet, from MTN. Internet coming from MTN. What should happen next? I need a firewall. Where do you put the DMC if it's a forward-facing application? Where do I put the IDS, IPS? Where do I put the sync tool that everything reports logging to make sure that you will not deny that, oh, I did not log in? Where do I put the DDoS protection? How do I secure, how do I perform defense in depth? That I have a couple of security measures in place that if a hacker bypasses the first one, it will take time to bypass the second up to get into your computer. Yes, that is cybersecurity. And information assurance, the data, the information, the compliance, the regulations. You have to be an SME in all three. It wasn't easy. 100 credits. I had a 2-year-old son by then. My last son, I have 4 boys. My last son, I had to carry him on my back. So every day in my life, when I started my doctorate program, I was studying, I was writing papers. Mr. Terry will tell you, we started together, but I finished a doctorate program of 100 credits. A program that normally should take you 5 years if you're doing it part-time, and it should take you 3 years if you're doing it full-time. I did it full-time, and I finished that program. My doctorate degree, I got it in 1 year, 8 months. with a 4.0 GPA. I'm not bragging. I'm making you understand that that palm oil daughter from really cool trenches is to do something that people found it so they couldn't understand. And all of a sudden, I find a different company recognizing my effort. I find right now I'm in a situation where I'm so booked for presentations. I need to appear on international magazines. I need to do television and radio podcast. It's overwhelming. Did I ask for it? No. I worked my way. It was hard. I wasn't expecting anything. So, what is my advice for you? You may feel that it is finished. My brother, not never finish. Get that mindset. Get the fighting mindset. Quitting is not an option. It has never ever been. When people look at me, they don't believe that I have 4 boys. Plus a husband, 5. Plus this my other son, who is my sister, 6. So I'm the only queen in the midst of so many men. You can imagine. It's not easy to take care of 4 boys. Go to school, doing 2 jobs, writing books. I've written 4 books, writing papers, articles, left, right, center, building companies, learning how to talk in public like I'm talking to you now. I'm constantly in school. Sometimes my presi, I call her my presi, she's my mother, Miss Manda. She's my mother. She's online. The one that introduced herself, she's my mother. This woman is a very hardworking woman. Sometimes she'll tell me, Ma, just go and rest. I'll take care of the class. That is how you need to put in the work. I am ready to support anyone who is ready to put in the work. But first, you should be able to put in the work. Sorry, this might be too long. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you. That's fine. You are going to meet. Awesome. Okay, another question, please. Oh, many questions. We'll start from there. Please be very precise on your questions because we have many questions.
Yes. It's okay. I will try to accommodate.
Yes, they are going to be very precise on their questions so that we go fast.
Okay, I'll streamline some of my questions into one.
I cannot see you.
Please.
Just remember your question.
Greetings once more, ma'am.
What's your name?
My first question, I'm called Shinyogunes. Shinyoy. Okay. My first question is your own perspective on if AI systems or generally machine learning systems will be a compliance policy to be integrated into company infrastructure in various industries in life, where as I say, given the period of time of like 5 years or coming along with time. Then my second question would be related to methods, your view on the aspect of governance when it comes to methods, because I could look at methods as an autonomous agent, but given the way it reacted during testing, it's giving something beyond an autonomous agent, given that it was able to go beyond its sandbox and carry out activities out of it, given that it was given a constricted area. I wanted to get your view on that.
Okay. Mr. Hernandez, are you online? Oh, I wanted my AI VP to take this question. Okay, if it's not there. The first you said you wanted to incorporate compliance and governance frameworks within the infrastructure when you're building and setting up AI systems. Yes, that is what is happening right now in the European Union, the requirements. There are various clauses that they require those who build AI systems to be able to use that as a, how do they call it, a measuring rod, to automate the system and make it an information system. That is what ISO 42001 is all about. Incorporating governance framework within the life cycle of an AI system. That is a work in progress. And to be able to go through the conformity assessment that is required by the European Union AI Act, companies must make sure that first they have that infrastructure that you just mentioned in place. Governance, as at now, they are struggling to adapt. They're struggling to figure out how can they convert text into actionable technology. That is why we are crying, we are blowing the alarm. Governance should be going at the same level to the way they are adopting AI applications, but unfortunately it is not. But for sure, since everything is new, once you start paying fine, you will find people to set up the environment, to put brains together and see how they can incorporate compliance and governance into the life cycle. Your second question about mythos. Yes, a mythos could be an autonomous agent because it evaded its own security protocols within its sandbox. So this is information that is not completely out there. So whatever we're saying is based on our analysis and what we're reading from what is online. Yes, that could be considered as an autonomous agent, right? But mythos, they haven't even instituted agents. They are still at the model level. The model is able to evade security guardrails. Adding agents to it, just agents are the ones that take action. So the agents, if they are connected to the mythos, right, they are to do a task. And they do it based on what the model is telling them. So the model is evading its own security protocols, still in training. Then imagine when that model is attached to agents that takes the action. It's going to be right decision at scale or bad decision at scale. So based on what is happening with mythos, yeah, there's a probability you want to think that it's acting like an autonomous agent, but it's still, mythos is not even a model as a model. It's a category of models because Anthropics has various categories. I think there's the Opus and there's the Cloud. One comes after the other. So mythos is the next level. I hope I answered your question. If I did, then we could take the next question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
For the first question, I was addressing the aspect of there being a compliance policy where industries have to integrate AI. There's a possibility that there will be a compliance policy with the years coming ahead that industries have to implement or use AI within their systems in order to enhance them and most of it.
Okay. Specific to various organizations. Because you cannot force me, a company, to implement AI within my infrastructure. You cannot force me to do that. You can encourage me to do that. Right now, we have a regulation from the White House, OMB 121-25, where the president is letting agencies know that, encouraging them to use AI applications to do government work. That's something you're saying. That's in line with what you're asking. But it is not a framework per se. It's just an encouragement and gives the directives of how you need to use it. But these directives are so broad, they're not specific. So every agency or every organization has to figure out to bring this requirement that the government is a policy, that the government wants us to use AI applications embedded within our infrastructure to carry out business. For sure, one of the aspects is these systems will definitely need to be compliant. So you need to figure out how to build an ecosystem around that. But for it to be like there is no law right now that constrains any company to embed AI applications within its environment to facilitate work, it's just the one that we have, it's for the United States government agencies. If that's okay, we could go to the next question.
Yes, we take 2 questions again. Two questions. Yes.
Yeah, my question is just like a follow-up of the question of goodness question. It's just like since 2026, you have heard about so many things in the AI development. You have mythos that we're talking about. There is also Google, which is coming with this new agent, Jitro agent, which is able to do so many things by itself, without human intervention. And there was also what was mainly discussed in the AI researcher department, like an AI agenda was built by a researcher, a Russian researcher, which he called Rubos, which is like a self-evolving AI agent. That even if the problem with it was just like even when the researcher itself tried to shut down the AI agent, it found a way to replicate itself so that it can survive, even create a version of himself. So in this case, do we say that the future of cybersecurity professional is to go in depth with those not new technology, but to go in depth in how to always AI, as you were saying earlier during your speech, during your presentation, how those AI, machine learning model and AI agent works, and maybe be the one that will be the one to enforce all those policies in order to have something that will be like socially taking the consent of human being and not just something that will be like a robot society.
Right. That thought. And the truth is, AI, they don't build themselves, right? Humans build AI. When AI starts making decisions, then it kicks us out of the loop. So we are forcing it that we need to be part of the decision making. So until we have comprehensive laws, until these things evade itself and does something terrible, then our lawmakers will come up with something solid. That we don't only have a governance theater, that is somebody validating the action of an agent without thinking, but we have humans along the way. So based on your question, we're focusing a lot on the outputs from the AI agents. I need you to focus on a little bit the back end. That's why I want you to understand the life cycle. What can you offer to be able to, for data collection? How do they collect data? How do they clean the data? How do they test these models? Start from there. Don't focus too much, because governance happens at every stage within the life cycle. Yes, the autonomous part, it is what it is. We are all struggling to survive. But what can you do? Because humans build that system. But when they build the system takes over. So figure out a way to hang on to something that is selling, that is being required. It might not necessarily be at the end product level. It could still be at the beginning. Reasons why I wanted us to go through the life cycle. So if you cannot get it here, start figuring out what can you do? How do you develop models? How do you train models? Those are humans training those models. How do you implement security guardrails? Those are humans. AIs don't implement guardrails for themselves. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, completely.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon.
Okay.
We have many questions, so we just stop at a certain moment.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Go ahead.
I was supposed to have a meeting. I'm busy. So let's keep going.
Okay, my name is Barthélemy Matakon. I'm a DevSec MLOps engineer, researcher, and my work is focused on security by design for truth-worthy machine learning operation. And then when you presented your work, this aligned perfectly on what I'm doing right now. Because when we talk about data, when we talk about AI, we talk also about machine learning. And then when we talk about machine learning, we talk about data. And then when we talk about data, one of the most challenges of the data is the data availability and the data quality. So as I'm working on the security by design, that is like, because this is part of the compliance also. My work is that not the traditional development operation was launched around in the last 2 decades, that is around 2000. And then since the models development of machine learning machine learning systems and AI models are increasing. So that is the machine learning operation, that is the machine learning life cycle, that the pipeline that we presented. That is, we start from the data collection up to the data, the monitoring of the system. Now, the thing about the security, since if we take an example for the open source, that is maybe the ChatGPT on other open source system, they are just they are breathing and they are free. Now, most of those applications did not follow the security by design principle. That is the security that we embed not at the afterthought, but from the inception. That is when we take from about the data collection. That is the quality of the data that we start. Which kind of data we will use about now to train our model. And then if we have that data, how can we actually to handle now to have the good model? That's what I'm doing. And then how about the protection? So my first question is that as a machine learning, as DevSecOps MLOps engineer, I need to implement my work. That is, I need the data that will align with my research background that to implement. That is, for example, my data will align for the experience of industrial engineers, data science engineers, that will give the feedback. Right now, I will take, because first of all, we try to identify weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and then try to make to map those weaknesses and vulnerabilities to a specific existing attacks, and then analyze those attacks that by so many techniques that is dynamic analysis and static analysis testings that you mentioned in your presentation. Now, how can we do now to obtain those kind of data to launch my model? And then also to collect those kind of data, you need to go as to go for internship. And as I'm here in the Center of Cybersecurity, I don't have any option to go and as the industry to collect the data and then to launch my implementation. What advice can you give me to implement my work? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Great question. Great question. So, going to your first question, right? Security by design. Perfect analogy. That is what happens when we have secured IT systems. And once we do security by design, meaning from the design stage, we make sure everything is in place. It's made mention about identifying vulnerabilities. You do, of course, you do clean your data, make sure the data is you use whatever pipelines you're using for the development of what you're developing, and you use machine learning. So just so the other students know, AI has been here for a long time. AI applications have been here for a long time. What just came out that has been making noise around the place is Gen AI. Gen AI changed everything. Like he said, data has been trained. They used to train data using ML technology, machine learning technology. But when it comes to Gen AI, the one that is able to do multiple things at the same time, give you human language, deep learning is the fastest way to get these models to where we want to get them. So my advice for you right now, machine learning is good. The companies are figuring out how can we get our models to the level that they fall within the threshold of the hallucination is low, data drifting is low, the probability that they will be attacked by adversaries is low. They're using deep learning. That is something you should consider. Imagine it with ML. It's going to take you places. Now, you made mention about zero-day vulnerabilities that you make sure that because you're doing your security by design, you identify these vulnerabilities using static analysis. And the application logic, you identify vulnerabilities using dynamic analysis. Now, I need you to listen to what I'm about to tell you. That is perfect. That is security by design. But have you ever asked yourself, you are using those static and dynamic analysis tools to identify known vulnerabilities, right? Vulnerabilities are already known. Vulnerabilities that exist within a vulnerability database. That is why those tools are able to pick them up as vulnerabilities. Now, you have a system that you've used, data you've built, you've checked against all these vulnerabilities. Scans are clean. Why? The database, the vulnerability database that is constantly being updated reflects that there is nothing in that database on that your application that you've built. Now, my question to you is, how will you be able to identify those zero-day vulnerabilities? Now, you bring the machine learning into place. They have tools in place that are able to identify potential behaviors, behavioral analytics. How can you determine that? Prof signs into his system at 8 o'clock in the morning every day. All of a sudden, you start seeing Prof signing in at 2 a.m. That is a red flag. That should be flagged within the same tool. And when those guys do their investigation, they can lead them to a potential discovery of a zero-day vulnerability. Before this AI tools are that is the only way that you could be able to identify zero-day vulnerabilities from abnormal behaviors. Then you want to go and check. The application owners want to go and check, they discover there's something. Now, coming to your next question. Congratulations, you've been putting a lot of work. From the way you've explained everything, you have detailed knowledge of what you're doing. I gave it to you. Congrats. Now, how can you move forward? Because resources are limited. You don't have help. My advice to you is search the web. Look for NGOs that support what you're doing. I had to look for some NGOs. I know I've been telling Prof, I will some programs that provide grants for things that you guys are doing. So look for NGOs that provide grants for things that you're working on. Because what you're working on is very important for you to sit alone and be able to come out with what you have built so far. Congratulations. You just need that resources, that push. Right now, My company is not in the, we are not financially stable, or we are, but we will look for grants. We will look for grants, and I'll piggyback with Prof. But it has to be something that aligns with exactly what you are offering. I know myself and Ms. Manda, we have the non-for-profit and we have the authorization to look for grants. It's just about the time, because we have a lot of grants out there, but we need the time, or you have to employ somebody to be able to do that for us. But I'm not making any promises. I will do what Prof told me to do. Even if I cannot do it, I will say, let him figure out, let him go through the ones that align. Our company, our NGO can apply for them and see how we can help. But we're not making any promises. We're just saying, I'll figure out a way to get that link to Prof to do the search, because I'm so choked up right now. I really do not have that time to search. But for sure, that's what we are here. Ms. Manda and myself, that's why we formed the Mamima Foundation. So that's something we'll take note of.
Okay, thank you very much, as soon as possible.
Okay.
Thank you. Maybe with your permission, shall we take one last question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your presentation. And I just wrote it down so I could be brief and straight to the point. So, okay, firstly, I want to comment on what your presentation, like my key takeaway in defensible AI. Trust is not a feeling; it's an outcome of evidence, verification, and accountability. So here goes my question. If AI systems are increasingly autonomous, how can organizations ensure defensibility without a slow time in real-time result? I don't know if I'm clear enough for you to understand. How can organizations ensure? Okay.
Yes, I get your question. Autonomous agents. I must say that there are companies who don't even know the number of agents they have in the environment. So first things first, how do you ensure defensibility? You must first of all identify, what do I have? How many agents do I have in my environment? Now, big tech is figuring out a way to identify, to assign, let me put in quotes, social security numbers for agents, because there are so many agents out there just executing tasks. Do you have a record of the number of agents that operate within your environment? You cannot defend what you do not know exists. First things, even the presidential memo, the OMB that our president gave, first point is identify the AI assets within your environment. AI is not only about application, chatbots. AI are embedded within regular IT applications. Chatbots, most of them are built on AI. Now, identification, inventory is number one. If you have an inventory of what is happening with your environment, the agents that are within your environment, you assign identification numbers to these agents. You make sure that these agents, whatever action they take, is logged in. Like we said, we need to log in everything, non-repudiation, so that you see that this agent did this, this agent did this. Now, your problem is this agent has taken an action. Can you explain? At least you have the ability to say that this agent did this at this time and then went to do this at this time. And it was because the model, because the agent, the brain is the model. So if you're able to track the actions of the agent, at least it gives you some aspect, even if you're failing, even if something, you have a breach. Yes, you're having that breach, but you understand what happened for that breach to happen, right? So the most important thing now is that you need to inventory the assets you have. You need to inventory the agents you have. You need to limit access to these agents so that they don't go and escalate their privileges and do things that they are not supposed to do. Whatever thing they do, these agents should be connected to monitoring systems, SIEM systems. that logs in everything and timestamps of what they did. Now you can use that to try figuring out what's happening at the model level, because that's the brain. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much, Doctor. But my question was actually about, for example, in a defensibility, we spoke about human in the loop. Yeah. So my question is, how can we ensure defensibility and at the same time we reduce the slow time in real time decision making of
okay. All right, I get it. Of course, you can ensure defensibility because it's about timestamps, it's about artifacts, it's about proof that this is and human in the loop. But like developers that you people are, you're always security people are wasting your time, things are not happening in real time, but it is a necessary waste of time. It is necessary. That is why right now we don't have that waste of time in most organizations using AI and agents. Agents just take autonomous decisions based on predictions or whatever their models are telling them. But we are emphasizing that we need a human in the loop, especially when they're taking critical decisions that affect lives. For applications that don't affect people, they could do whatever they want to do. It's okay. But at least we are monitoring. We see that this agent did this, did that. But of course, it will slow down things if we have a human in the loop. We cannot deny that. That is a fact. But it will help ensure that we are sure of what that agent is about to do. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to slow it down once we get human in the loop. But how does that link to defensibility? Defensibility is all about having a record of everything and being able to explain why this happened, why that happened. So human in the loop, it will slow down things in real time. Yes, it will. It's a fact. You cannot change it.
Thank you.
Come. You have a question. Yes, go ahead for your question.
All right. Dr. Ofe, thank you so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate that a lot. All right, so my question revolves around the concerns around AI. Let me put it this way. The question is, are you excited about the upcoming developments in AI, or are you scared? For some context, you notice that right now, most of the important decisions that occur, this question revolves around governance, to provide more context. You notice that most of the decisions that are taken around AI are done by some of the most powerful nations in the world, for example, the US and China. And also, there is a mad race between the US and China with things related to AI. Also, there is Geoffrey Hinton, who actually quit Google in 2023. And in an interview, he says the reason he left Google was because while working with a model, he realized it was sentient. And he could not talk about this because he was still working at Google. Another person like Iliad, who is one of the founders of OpenAI, left OpenAI and now focuses on things related to security. Now, taking into consideration as well, how many years most of these AI products actually tested internally or in sensitive fields like the military. What are your thoughts about the upcoming development, or are you scared or are you excited about what's going to happen next? This is the first question.
That's all. That's all for your
In response to your question, the more you know about AI, the more scared you become. That's the truth. You're no longer excited because the technology can be used for good as for bad. Now, the question is, are we able to find a middle ground? Because if that's what is happening and companies are picking it up, governments are picking it up, what can we do? That's why those people are resigning, because they see what is coming that we do not see. So the more you know about AI, the more scared you become. So am I excited? I try not to be biased because I'm a writer, and it is what it is. It's the technology. There's nothing I can do about it. We have to figure out a way to survive around it. I'm scared as well as I'm happy. So what can I do? Can I do anything? No. That's why those people resigned. Do they have the ability to stop the development of the models they were working on that they see as a potential could be weaponized? No, they cannot stop it. For their conscience sake, let me just leave this there. The world is what it is. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Yes, I know.
Okay. So you have the question in the chat.
Okay, he is unstoppable, but I will stop him because I've seen 2 female students, and then I'll take their questions. Very short and precise.
My name is Sefu Odi, and I am working in the area of cryptography. And in the area of cryptography, privacy is very important. And you said that to control AI, we can add a human layer. Now, in the question of privacy, like there are some personal questions that people use to ask AI. If there is a human to control, the privacy of the people prompting the AI can be leaked. So, how will the human layer manage the privacy of people, of the users?
Okay, great question. In that case, the human layer is just there to the guardrails have to stop that model from releasing PII, PHI. That's personally identifiable information or personal health information. The human level will not be able to stop that because I'm just verifying that, is this decision okay? Can this agent make this decision? What should stop it is go back to the data layer, right? What did you use in training the model? Did you de-identify the data? Even if you de-identify data, hackers can still figure out a way to manipulate the model to get something from it that they could put together to be able to identify, could evade privacy. But now, at the model layer, what can the model release to you? Security guardrails. So that it doesn't evade privacy measures and release privacy information. But do we have situations where privacy is like, of course, yeah. Guardrails are there. There's no 100% that is going to stop them. It could be manipulated to still release the information. So like we said, AI is the most complicated system that exists to secure. There is no absolute security measure that you can say for sure 100%. This is going to curb the issue of privacy. This is going to curb bias. This is going to curb hallucination. This is going to curb drifting. There is none. So it's just about thresholds. What level of privacy do we consider a serious violation to privacy? It's about thresholds. But we use guardrails to do all of that within the systems as they're being built. The human layer will not be able to stop what the AI is telling me, right? It could reject the decision. This decision should not be made, that the agent should not take an action on it. That is all they can do. So it could just be an added layer of security, but the main thing is the guardrails around the model. Do not release PII.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. If you are question already, yes, come on, come here and ask. We take the last question.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your patience.
Hello, madam. My question is about, do you offer free training program on AI governance, mentorship program, or remote intent? This is the first one. Second one, please, it's not yes, it's a question.
Please, can you share with us your master or PhD research? Then it can be a source of inspiration for us. And the last one, does license and condition of use that we have to accept before using an app or site is part of governance? If yes, then do you agree with me if I say that it's highly profitable to the owner of the app? Because in real life situations, normally you are able to discuss the term of a contract, but with this, it's not really possible. Then sometimes when we are asked to read it, it is normal that we will not, because there is nothing to do about the license. Please, can you tell us why it is like that?
I'll start with your last. Yes, it's profitable to the people who build the app because they want to cover themselves, okay, from litigation. I told you that, and you said yes. And when you say you don't want to, they will not give you access to use that system, right? What can we do about it? It is corporate politics. That's what happens. So it is advantageous to them because it covers them. Now we go clicking on accept on things that we don't even know hectic. By the time we refuse, we are not able to. It is what it is. I don't know what I can tell you on that. That's how life is. Life is unfair, right? It's not every time that it is so unfair. The corporate guys are covering their tracks. If you come back tomorrow, something happened, but you accepted the terms of the use. So I really don't know what to say because what you said is perfectly correct and it's a governance issue. Just like ChatGPT telling you, ChatGPT can make errors. So if you want to, you need to verify on your own. Dr. Thierry, can you add something to this compliance checking, or Ms. Manda? Mr. Thierry or Ms. Manda, can you guys add something to this? Because there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. It's corporate politics. Dr. Thierry, are you there?
If your companies may offer remote internship position to students in the center, mentorship, a kind of mentorship program, they are dealing with cybersecurity here. They want to know if you offer a type of mentorship program.
Okay. So with respect to that, right? The mentor application that we have is mentorship. I'm working with my developers to upgrade and to see how we can restructure the payment system to maybe give the first consultation, mentorship consultation, maybe free. That's why I told Prof. Prof wanted to share the link with you guys. I said for now, it will require you guys to pay. So we're working on it. It's not easy to do a complete overhaul and upgrade of applications. Once I get that done, I will let Prof know the period that we could leave it for free, that you could get in on to mentors and get sessions with mentors. That is my response to that. Then there was another question. Okay, do we offer free cybersecurity and AI trainings? So when I started the training cohort, the first thing I gave 3 free classes on. It was on cybersecurity. Anyone could attend. Right now, we are working on our plan of action for 2026. Myself and Ms. Manda for the Mamima Global Foundation. We haven't concluded yet. If we put free training as one of them, we'll definitely let you know. But for you to stay current, Mr. Adonis put something in the chat. You contact him, you give him your numbers to be added to the Youngest Tech chart, the Global Youngest Tech chart, so that whatever thing we have, whatever thing is coming up, you're the first to know. Because sometimes I can forget to, or we can forget. So, Mr. Adonis, they put something in the chat. Follow up with him. Put in your number. He will pick it up. He will add you to the Youngest Tech chart. When we plan events like that, we will let you know. Other than cybersecurity, I mean, so a lot into women empowerment. So there are times of organizing women empowerment seminars and conferences. I have a conference in 2 weeks. That one is in person, but the next Unstoppable Women Experience Conference, I intend to do it online so that everybody anywhere can attend. So we have speakers all over the world that you can get that information if you're within reach, right? Because I might not be able to be communicating everything about what's going on to Prof. So follow up with Adonis. Adonis, please tell them, how do they get to you?
Sorry?
Yeah, there's a contact there. There's a contact there. You can easily write me on WhatsApp. I'll give you more details about Ernest Tech. So.
Okay, good. So grab Adonis's contact, the contact he has, information he has there. He'll take care of the rest.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Prof, before you finish, Prof, I just want to talk to my team members if they have any contributions, any advice for the students. I know some of them popped in when I was talking or are busy. So anyone has something to say for the students before we call it a day? Or anyone online, not necessarily.
Yeah, I think I might say something that's going to help our students. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If you can mute the microphone, I really appreciate it. Something that I wanted to share with you is Dr. Mavis already said, like you all know, we together went to the same school, but something that I wanted to share with you, being a classmate, I respect who she is. Like she mentioned earlier, a doctorate degree basically takes up to 7 years to get that taken care of. And she did it less than 2 years. I would like to mention to you all that I did it in 2.5 years based on my schedule, but I still graduate. Just to let you know how special she is. If she spent time out of her business schedule being in front of you and trying to share some knowledge, you need to understand where she's coming from. This is the gift that we don't see every day. This is something special that Cameroon is missing today. We are abroad is not because we do not want to come home. Being abroad, we always find a way to come back and trying to put something that our country missing. And another thing that I would like to, I don't want to go through the whole story, but I just wanted to let you guys know that each of you guys sitting in that classroom are gifted as well. And when I say that, I wanted to let you guys know what exactly you have and to let you guys understand what is the difference between your job and your work. There's a difference between your job and your work. When you sit in that classroom, you go to school, you become a professional, you have a career, and you find yourself what? A job. But the question is, are you going to spend all your life being able to just work and take care of your family? I think the answer is no. But something that I wanted to share with you is to let you guys know that each of you guys, as a gifted child from Cameroon, we all have a purpose. And the purpose is your work. So it means that at the end of the day, when you seek for that education, seek for that career, seek for that job, is to make sure to invest into your work. And your work is your gift, is what God creates you with. So you have to make sure during your career, you have to find your purpose. By having that good education, that good job, once you invest into that work, which is your purpose, now you're going to live that dream to skip that poverty, to skip what we live today, work, go home and sleep. So you got to make sure to think like that. Those are the kind of, thinking that's going to elevate you from being capable of find a perfect career. That's why you see Dr. Mavis, she spent time explaining to you to have an open mind to locate a perfect knowledge to build yourself something special and to use it and invest into your work, which is your purpose. Those are the kind of words that I wanted to share to make you come out from your comfort zone to be able to knowledge the reason why you are actually going to school. It's not to work your entire life, but it's to be able to come out from that comfort zone and translate and understand what it means to go to school. Go to school is not only to get a job all the time, job after job now. Is to be able to spend all your life, invest into what is your purpose. Thank you again, Dr. Mavis. I really, really appreciate it. I didn't understand previously the purpose of this, but I really like it. And thank you again for having me, among you guys and to share that expertise and that special mission back to our country. And by the way, something that I wanted to tell you guys, I grew up in Douala. I used to, to do the same thing like you guys. J'ai vendu la friperie. I sell water bottle to the market, Mashembopi. I did a push in the bar, like being able to, I was working at the bar. I work at a restaurant. I have a cafeteria. Régie Fekam, Douala. I grew up in Cameroon. I did everything just like you guys. So I know what it is, a poverty. So today, when we spend time trying to inspire you guys, there's no difference between us over here and you people. Don't just take, remove that doctor name. At the end of the day, we are Cameroon kids, children abroad. We're trying to help you guys, and nobody help us. So by being over here, see you guys trying to, fulfill your purpose. We need to be there for you guys and help you guys, cross that light. Thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Thierry. Ms. Manda? Okay. But sorry, one of the professionals. Oh my God. I have 4 boys, so just don't mind me with kids matter.
All right. So thank you, Dr. Mavis, Dr. Thierry, for all your input. So I'm actually adding to what you have already echoed. So I just want to encourage the students of Center of Cybersecurity and Mathematical Cryptography that in order to expand on what you're doing, there are a lot of conferences out there. Google those conferences. Most of them are actually in Yaoundé. You can get them as well in Douala. Google those conferences, attend professional events. That way you can grow and network. And those can also open doors for you to travel abroad. You know, Dr. Mavis talked about grants and stuff, which he actually did not guarantee because we are also a starting company. But while you're waiting on us, I encourage you guys to, you know, look into those multiple cybersecurity related conferences and tech events in Yaoundé. I frequent Yaoundé all the time with Dr. Mavis. So we've come across those conferences. And while she was talking, I tried to pull up Google to see which conference is actually, you know, taking place or will take place in Cameroon. There's this conference on advance in computer science and educational technologies for sustainable development, where enrollment is between July 1st and 2nd of 2026. So it's actually hybrid, online and in person. So try to Google it, register, you know, for that conference. You don't know who you're going to meet because most of those conferences are attended by lecturers, researchers all over the world. You know, people coming there to find mentors. You know, you can discover an internship program in there. You can also get into why not writing an article, because from the students in here, they are very much enlightened with their field of study, and from your research paper, it becomes, you know, a document that is readable to, you know, across the world. So I just want to encourage you guys, conferences where you are right now is your to-go place. It's your to-go place. Considering the state in which Cameroon is right now, go to these areas that hold conferences, you know, exchange information. You can even get scholarships from there. So you need to be able to work, put work in what you do. You know, don't only depend in class and, you know, expect stuff out there. You know, so you guys seated in there. I sat in Guaykele. I went to University of Guaykele, Yaoundé. You know, I did 4 years there, you know, because I was studying in French, which was something very challenging for me. I did études bilingues. So sitting in there, I know the challenges. You know, I know what it means to go down to Bonamusadi and get paperwork printed out. You don't have this computer system to be able to study. So I completely understand where you are. But right now, what you're studying is something that is impactful to Cameroon and to the whole world. So go out there, you know, meet with people, prepare like a paper presentation, ready to go. If someone says, can I have your credentials? You have it ready with you. You drop it out. So print like 5 copies, okay, where you have a presentation of who you are, what you're doing, what you have studied, a bit of an accomplishment, okay? So seated in there, try to see if you can go to primary schools, right, and talk about cybersecurity and AI and add it to your professional skills, because you can't just sit there and speak without acting on what you speak. Right? So I'm not speaking from a doctor standpoint. I'm not interested being a doctor right now, but you know, I have other things that I'm working on and encouraging you guys to go out there. Right? So that is what I can tell you from my standpoint as a cyber strategist. Go out there, put work, you know, and your professor right here is your good reference. You know, that's your professional reference. And we are here, Dr. Mavis and the rest of the team here, we are here to give you additional references on top of your skill set. But you need to go out there. Go out there and do the work. Before you go out there, that letter, write that letter. Write it and put it in your folders. That way you meet any person out there, can I have who you are? Can I know who you are? You hand them that document. You won't say, please, hang on, let me go and send you an email. There is no time. There's no wait time. While you're writing that letter, somebody's paperwork is being processed to go abroad. So you need to be proactive. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I encourage you all, you know, to put God first in everything you do. Thank you.
Prof, if you permit, I would like to use a word. He is a student. He is my employee. He's not only my employee, he has 2 other jobs. He's a computer science student at the undergraduate level. So he has not even reached, most of you are already at the master's level. I want him to tell you a little bit about how life is and how you have to push. Herman.
Hello, everyone. Once again, I'm happy to be on this seminar with all of you. Yes, as Dr. Mavis rightly said, you look at her, you look at even your professor there and the other members on the team. Some of you may think they got lucky to be where they are, but it's not luck. As they usually say, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You have to push, you have to prepare yourself, you have to be ready at every moment to grab whatever opportunity comes your way. Because when that opportunity comes, it may not linger for long. So prepare, do the preparation, put in the work, and when the opportunity comes, you will definitely grab it. So I just want to encourage all of you. I love the energy I've seen. I love the work you're putting in, and I just encourage you to continue pushing, because you push, and one day you will get the opportunity you need to excel in what you're doing.
Thank you, Herman. So, Prof, thank you. That is it for me and my team. It was an honor to talk to you guys, and we look forward to connecting. That is it for me, Prof.
Hello?
Yes, I said thank you very much. That's a wrap from us.
Okay, we are the ones saying thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for the time you took during the preparation of this seminar. Thank you very much for bringing on board your team to support us. It was more than a seminar, and I think the advice given to our students is very valuable. We thank you very much. Definitely, you are unstoppable, and I think we are going to keep the spirit, and we hope to have you next time again, maybe for another topic. So thank you very much. We appreciate, and our students, I'm sure time to time, they may definitely get to you or to one member of your team. And of course, as you said, we'll remain in contact for the project on mentorship and so on, so that you may help some of them here. So thank you very much. Can you join me and say thank you for
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We are unstoppable here. I don't know what is happening.
All right. I think I have a question. There was something. I don't know if she's the one that asked it about my research, my PhD research. I don't know if she's the one. I did not answer that. So my study was a qualitative study exploring security practices healthcare providers need to reduce the risk of successful ransomware attacks on electronic health record systems. Yes, go ahead. I think it's the other lady. Okay, for the books, right, Prof? For the books.
Yes.
You give 1 to the lady that's sitting at extreme right. The one who asked the question about governance, the first lady who spoke. You give 1 to her, and then you give 1 to the guy who spoke, who answered the question on hallucination, the other book. Then you have 2 pens. Give 1 pen to my machine learning superstar, and give 1 pen to she who is about to ask another question.
I've been transformed by your. it was very inspiring as a girl in tech, and with all the challenges we are facing about marriage and everything. And I've been impressed by the fact that you are managing your family and you are running businesses and everything. And above all, your leadership skills, like you were both. I would like to have some advice from you as a leadership, yes, as a leader, and how to manage personal life and work and everything.
Okay, great question. So it's fine, Prof. It's fine. When I'll tell you you have to stop talking, you have to stop it. You're good? We're good. So coming to your question, I appreciate the fact that God was able to use me to pass on something to you guys that you guys value. You see value in it. And to be very sincere with you, you are a girl. I wanted to ask, where are the girls in that class? Was that a woman in there for that class? You get the point? Because normally speaking, tech is a man's world. Like it or not, it is a man's world. I have a podcast with a television station, a New York television station. They took me because they are looking for women who have tech companies. They're seeing only men. And then they want to come and see me. I don't only have a tech company, I'm a doctor in the thing. That's what caught their attention. So you as a woman, you need to do double work. The men, they spend all their time doing what they have to do to get to where they want to get to. But you distribute your time between your house, husband, family, work, school. So it's too much on you. But guess what? The strength that we women have, men do not have it. So I need you to tap into that and to understand, if I criticize you, if I mentor you, if you don't run, then you succeed. All my little sisters that I've mentored, I don't sugarcoat. I just tell you the way it is. You see this thing you're doing, it doesn't work out. You see the way I told one of the students who was answering a question that I think, no, you don't think. You say it. You have to be able to build that level of confidence, because so many people look low on you. God, you don't want to know what I went through. I'm at work. I'm the most qualified human being at that job. People make me feel like they're comparing me with a high school student. Yes. That is what I went through. Whoever has my book, borrow it and read it. That is what I went through. I feel discouraged. I feel like, what's going on here? I'm the most qualified. I have all the certifications. I have all the degrees. I have the experience. But the positions that they put me. So that's why I tell every woman, you get into a room looking for a seat at the table. They don't give you. Create your own table and get a seat for yourself. I had to learn the hard way. I created my own table. And now I'm helping others to help them get to where I am and beyond. Because when you train a child and the child is supposed to go way beyond you, then you know you've done a good job. That is my only objective, to make sure that I support every person I meet. I have a particular soft spot for us women because, like you said, we go through a lot. That's why I'm organizing the Unstoppable Women's Conference. So make sure you are part of the Youngest Tech Group so that the conference that is coming, that will be online, you'll be part of it. You listen to so many women talk about their experiences that will help you grow. Leadership-wise, I make sure I am on top of the curve. I do a lot of reading. I don't sleep. The other day I was telling Prof, I need to sleep because I need to get to work. We are working on this. I need to send to Prof. It's 2 a.m. in the morning here. That's when you guys are waking up. I need to communicate this thing with him. I sleep for 4 hours. 6 a.m. my son is on my door. Mommy, it's time to go shower. I need to shower him, take them, go drop them in school. I come back. I've slept for 3 hours. I have to work. I have to cook. I have to clean. And then I have to edit. I have to reply emails from my publishers because I have 3 books in publishing. One will be going online today, the book on artificial intelligence. Most of those books, I'll make sure that will happen in Cameroon. We'll get that conversation with Prof when the time reaches. So, sister girl, don't stop for nothing in the world. They will tell you, you are too much, you want to show off. My dear, keep pushing. You will reach a level where those people who are telling you, oh, you wanted to show off, they will be the ones bowing and clapping for you. Today, I don't even have the ability to respond to Facebook messages. It's coming from everywhere. Sister, I don't have that time. But did I just get there? Did I just sit and things just happen? No. If Ms. Manda tells you how I studied for my doctorate there, you will not believe it. I don't sleep. 3 hours, 4 hours, I am up. When I say I will do something, you need to have a plan. This is where I want to go to and make a plan and do not deviate from it. That is the one advice I'll give you. That's what's helping me lead as a woman in a man's world.
Thank you very much, madam.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Problem.
We all wish you a happy day as we return home. We are seated, and as I said, we hope to have you again online, and then see us through emails and social network.
Okay.
And so on. Thank you very much.
No problem. That works. Have a good day.
Okay.